Hi RZR riders, Red Razor 56 here today. I'm going to do just a real quick shot on the tie rod ends. A lot of guys complaining about their tie rod ends coming apart. Here's one that's been in for 2,500 miles. It's an OEM Polaris tie rod end, and their part number is 7061138. I know they make a ton of different tie rod ends. There's aftermarket stuff. You buy what's available for you. I know not everybody has a Polaris dealer in their backyard, so they're just as apt to go online and order something. Whatever you find that works for you, use it. What this is a tear down, and I've cut this rubber seal off of this joint just to save time. You would never take this apart to service it yourself. There's no serviceable parts in here. There's a couple of these little coil springs here that hold the top and bottom of the seal on around the joint. We do a lot of mountain trail riding, fair amount of dust, and a lot of creek and water crossings, no desert riding. I cut this seal off, and when we just do that, look at all the goodies that come out of there. That's all kind of crap and debris from who knows what in there. I'm going to say most of that's actually portions of this swivel joint. It's like a Heim joint sort of a deal, and not serviceable. It's put together in kind of a strange way at the factory. I saw them do it with swaging tools and special techniques. You really can't service this thing in your own shop. It's just not a serviceable item. Of course, this one here has a ton of play in it. That's why I took it off the machine and just put a brand new OEM part on it. It's shot. I mean, you can see this thing. I mean, I can feel it a lot more than the camera can show it. I'll give as close up as I possibly can, but it's just kind of hard to see what's going on here. But the center swivel is worn out. There's no way you can get lubrication in there. I don't know. I guess there's a 1 in a million that you could cut, or that you could pull one of these springs off, and I just pulled the little spring off with a little screwdriver, got up in there and got it, and you may be able to pull that back and put some, I mean, if I was going to put something in there, I'd be looking at like 90 weight gear oil. I don't think I'd waste my time with anything thin like CRC or, liquid wrench or anything like that. I don't think I'd waste my time with it. You might get a little bit more time out of it, but it's just one of those parts. It's a consumable item on an off-road vehicle. They wear out. It is what it is. Keep an eye on them. Of course, you can check them when you got your front end jacked up, and this is still hooked to the machine. I came up with something that I think would really work. Your tie rod ends go on the bottom of your front steering knuckles. A lot of guys, they take them apart and they put them back on, and they look, the way the tie rod comes out of the steering box, you'd swear that thing should be on the top of the steering knuckle. But if you put it on there, you're not going to be able to steer your machine. If you do, it's going to break your wrists. But this comes up on the bottom of the steering knuckle, and of course the bolt goes through. I would suggest, if you're afraid of a breakdown on the trail, find a big washer. There's room for it on the bottom. Put a washer that's at least the size of this OD of this piece right here on there, and then you put your nut on, and then you put the safety cotter pin in the bottom of that. And that way, if this thing had a breakdown and it fell out of there, it wouldn't be able to fall out. Now, if this end of the bell breaks, of course, it's going to pull right out, and you're never, you're done. Your ride's over right now. But I really think that the top of this is captured by the steering knuckle, so it can't come up this way. And if you had a flat washer here, this couldn't fall off the bottom and leave you high and dry. I've never really seen it happen. It's one of those things. Check them twice a year if they look like they're sloppy. 7061138 OEM Polaris. Replace them. Takes about 5-10 minutes, and you're good to go. Red Razor 56. Saying live to ride another day.